Ho ho, meine lieben Serienjunkies und willkommen zurück hier auf Stream Wars. Das Jahr neigt sich unaufhörlich dem Ende zu und Netflix serviert uns pünktlich zu den Feiertagen eines der wohl heiß ersehntesten Serienhighlights des Jahres. Die Rede ist natürlich von der epischen Fantasy-Saga The Witcher über die Abenteuer des Hexers Geralt von Riva. Und noch bevor überhaupt irgendjemand auch nur den Hauch einer Chance hatte, die ersten 8 Folgen durchzubingen, hat Netflix bereits eine zweite Staffel angekündigt. Aber Vorsicht, wer jetzt davon ausgeht, dass wir den Nachschlag relativ zügig serviert bekommen im Anschluss an die erste Staffel, den müssen wir an dieser Stelle leider enttäuschen. Denn auch wenn die Dreharbeiten bereits im Frühjahr 2020 beginnen, gestalten sich diese als äußerst aufwendig und langwierig. Und daher werden die 8 neuen Folgen der zweiten Staffel frühestens im ersten Quartal 2021 veröffentlicht. Wie auch die erste Staffel basiert diese erneut einzig und allein auf der Bestseller-Romanreihe des polnischen Schriftstellers Andrzej Sapkowski und nicht etwa auf der ebenfalls preisgekrönten Gaming-Reihe. Nichtsdestotrotz fiebern natürlich sowohl Fans der Bücher als auch die der Games seit Monaten dem Start dieser neuen Netflix-Originalserie entgegen. Bevor diese am 20. Dezember nun weltweit veröffentlicht wurde, feierte die Serie bereits 4 Tage zuvor in London ihre Europapremiere. Ja, und wir hatten tatsächlich das große unverschämte Glück, live vor Ort zu sein, um mit den Darstellern von Jaskier, Ciri und Yennefer sowie der Produzentin Lauren Schmidt auf dem roten Teppich sprechen zu können. Wen wir allerdings auf diesem Event tatsächlich nicht mehr vor die Linse bekommen haben, war Geralt-Darsteller Henry Cavill. Aber keine Angst jetzt, denn wie der Videotitel ja schon vermuten lässt, durch eine Kooperation mit dem internationalen Vlogger Azrael Koladila präsentieren wir euch jetzt im Anschluss an die Premieren-Interviews auch noch ein Gespräch mit Henry Cavill im Rahmen eines exklusiven Netflix-Fan-Events. Wir wünschen euch jetzt viel Spaß damit, genießt die Impression und bis bald.
It's really nice. It feels, it's like the sort of culmination of everything we've been working for, which has been really fab. I'm absolutely exhausted. I think everyone is, which I think is a testament to the hard work that everyone's thrown into the show. Yeah, it's really exciting.
Oh my God, it's so exciting. I mean, I've been living with this story for 2.5 years now. To be able for the world to see it is so exciting.
I play a character called Jaskier, who is a Muppet. He's an absolute mess of a human being. He is a wandering troubadour, a bard, a storyteller, a loyal friend to Geralt of Riva, played by Henry Cavill, and mostly spends his time getting in trouble and then trying to get himself out of it.
Ciri is the princess of Cintra, the lion cub of Cintra, and she's very stubborn, and she really values her voice, and she's got a lot of curiosity and intelligence.
She is a sorceress, and she has elven blood, and she's fierce and independent, and she doesn't take no for an answer, and she's one of the most powerful mages on the continent.
For me, it really comes down to the characters. You're really just trying to tell the story of Geralt and of Ciri and Yennefer. Make sure that we understand their journeys, that we can relate to their journeys, and that's really the series in there.
It was an absolute delight. He's very respectful, and we have a laugh together, which I think is the most important thing for us. And yeah, we're kind of constantly giggling, which is, I think, a good sign.
Amazing. He's just so kind and really passionate. He's a big fan of The Witcher himself, so you can really feel that, and it's very infectious when you're working with him. You can tell that he just loves it and he adores every part of it and wants to make sure it's the best show it can possibly be.
Wonderful. I hesitate because I try and find another word whenever someone asks me it, because he's so humble and honest and just so enthusiastic about the show. It's a gift for any actor to work with that passion.
Henry embodies Geralt. It's the most amazing thing to see because, of course, you have his physical transformation, you have the wig and the contacts, but in all honesty, Henry is Geralt and Geralt is Henry in many ways. Henry brought this stoicism and this silence to the character that's really amazing, but also has the ability to capture the wit and the humor of the character, which is so important to the Witcher franchise.
This show will appeal to people who have that fantasy bent, who want to enjoy that fantasy, but it really does bring something new. There's a lot of humour. There's the Polish dry humour and that darkness, which I think everyone's going to really enjoy.
I mostly want audiences to understand that fantasy is for them too. There was a time where fantasy was just for men and just for geeks and nerds, and it's like, no, fantasy is actually for a wide audience because it reflects our real world, and you can relate to the characters that are walking through it, even if there's monsters, even if there's magic. And I'm really excited for people to see themselves in the world of The Witcher.
Every training experience is different depending on the job, because the trickiest thing about the training for any role is finding the time to fit the training in. But for this one in particular, because of the athleticism of Geralt's fighting style, there's a lot of pirouettes, there's a lot of explosive movements, and a lot of uneven ground. You're not fighting in a gym, you're fighting on a slope with cobbles, and it's a dusty floor as well, or it's raining, whatever the case may be. And so you have to make sure that everything is protected, and you build up the right muscle groups which can protect things like knee joints, or whatever it may be, hips, elbows, shoulders. And that was what me and my trainer focused on the most. Aside from the aesthetic, we had to make sure that my body could keep up with the schedule and the fights.
I heard that Netflix were making it into a show, and I called my agents and I said, right guys, I want to at least get into the room here as early as possible and see if I can get this. This is really, really important to me. And they said, okay, cool, great. And then I didn't hear anything back for a week. And so I called them that week and said, have you done anything yet? And they said, no, we put a call to Netflix. And I was like, yeah, but have you heard back? And they went, well, yes, we have. And there's nothing going on yet. I was like, well, keep on calling until you find out what's going on. Okay. And don't stop calling. And so I called them back every 3 days and said, have you spoken to them again? And they said, yeah, okay, well, we'll call again, Henry. And they kept on with this. And eventually, when Lauren was ready to take meetings, they must have said, look, you've got to meet this guy, otherwise he's gonna turn up at the door and it'll be embarrassing. And so I met with Lauren, we had a lovely chat about the character and about the storyline, and then she had to go through her casting process. And so I think it was about 6 or 7 weeks later, I got a call saying, would you like to audition for the role? And I was on holiday at the time. I cancelled my holiday and we all flew into New York, and we had an audition there, and the rest is history. Well, Geralt, aside from being incredibly fast, strong, greater endurance and long life than your average human, he can also cast basic spells. Okay. And this is all part of a process which they gain from going through alchemical trials as boys and various amounts of training. And these spells they're not as strong as the kind of spells you'd have sorceresses and sorcerers cast. But when combined with their combat abilities and their physical prowess, they can be incredibly deadly. But aside from all of that, I think Geralt's true secret power is his capacity to love and his belief in the world for being a better place. Genuinely, what he presents to the world is not necessarily how he feels on the inside.